I think that the biggest misconception is that people think I'm some kind of drunk asshole. I mean, I drink, don't get me wrong. But I'm actually real nice. Well, I don't like the word nice. I'm very kind. I'm very, very, very loving. I'm just selective.
And where do you think this misconception stems from?
Obviously, TV.
And for those that are watching, just getting to know you for the very first time, what show are you referencing here?
I am on a show called Growing Up Hip Hop on WeTV, currently airing on Thursdays. It's a great show. Well, it's a show. We're, I guess, the offspring of people who were thriving in the music industry, especially hip hop, at some point.
Now, because of this misconception, have you lost or gained opportunities because of it?
Both. I've lost and gained opportunities because of the show. I think my personality is very big in real life. I had a lot of opportunities already that I may not have recognized, and I didn't capitalize on them at the time. But I lost some because I did not perform properly on the show, not knowing how TV worked. And then I gained some from TV, just from the exposure. It's a give and take. It's a blessing and a curse. It's like everything else. Well, really, blessings are blessings. And if you pay attention to blessings, they can hurt you if you look at it that way. And they can also super bless you. But it's all about perspective, I guess.
Now, when it comes to drinking, did you drink anything before this interview?
Fuck yes. Are you crazy? I wanted to bring a drink, but I was like, let me calm down.
Now, what is drinking for you? What does drinking do for you exactly?
Well, I was a bartender 14 years. So, to be fair, today I drank mimosas because last night I had too many drinks. And I was trying to do a little hair of the dog. And then also, it's a social thing. So I went down to the bar and I saw a bartender I haven't seen since April. And she was like, oh, you're back. And I was like, yes. And before I could say anything, she went, you want a mimosa? It's breakfast. I was like, girl, fair. Fair.
For you, what do you typically drink? What do you indulge in?
Gin. I really drink like an old rich white bitch. I love a good, oh my God, I love a good gin cocktail, but more specifically, I like this ridiculous drink that's hard to acquire. It's a Ramos Gin Fizz. It's a New Orleans drink. 7 minutes it takes to make, and it costs a lot. It's really good though.
In your 14 years of bartending, is that a drink you ever made yourself?
I make it for myself all the time.
Okay. What about for other customers?
No one's ever requested that drink. I think I'm some kind of alien.
How'd you discover that drink?
That's a good question. How did I? Oh, shit. I actually don't recall.
When it comes to gin, is it a certain brand you prefer?
I collect gin, so there are several brands. I will tell you this, if it's under 42%, I won't do it.
Why not?
Because it just ain't, it's not gin. It's vodka. At that point, with a funky ass aftertaste.
Now, when it comes to drinking, respectfully, I ask you this. Are you an alcoholic?
Goddamn yes, by definition. Functional, make sure you put that in there. Listen, I can drink as long as the day is. If you ask the bartenders at the hotel I'm staying at, they'll be like, oh, we ain't worried about her. She'll drink from the time the bar opens to the close, but she will be talking the same, which means I slur when I'm sober too.
Do you use any other drugs recreationally?
Not anymore.
You've actually quit drugs?
Mm-hmm. Long time ago.
Care to share what drugs you have quit in
All
the
of
past?
All of them.
Care to share any names specifically?
I mean, all of them. I mean, I don't know what the kids are doing these days, but all of them. All of them.
When you did quit drugs you have in the past, were they all quitting by the flip of a light switch?
No. It was what's the word I'm looking for? So, fine. You want me to elaborate? Yes, I smoked meth for 7 whole years. I still have all my original teeth because I am blessed and lucky. Man, God bless it. I did smoke meth. I'm not proud of it, but I'm also not ashamed. I quit meth because I was like, this hurts. It hurts. The whole thing just hurt. And one day I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. But that didn't mean that right away I was like, oh, I'll never smoke meth again. What it meant was I would still struggle because I could smell it coming off people's pores. Like if you were standing next to me somewhere, I'd be like, oh, he smokes. I hate to say this, but what actually helped me was I started doing mushrooms. But spiritually, not to get high. I was taking actual, like, spiritual journeys, and I ain't did, baby, I got off cocaine, okay? I've been doing that shit for years, too. Well, I was. And after shrooms, I was like, oh, I don't need those things anymore. Now, I still drink alcohol, but I like it, and I don't feel it's doing me harm. Personally, I'm not over drinking. I'm not falling down drunk. I'm not violent when I drink. People like to think that, but to be fair, I'm violent when I'm sober, bitch. Don't try me.
So for you, if you care to share any details on how you quit some of these, it's because there may be somebody watching this that's attempting to, and just curious on how you may have gone about it.
You have to want better. You have to want better than your current situation. So for me, personally, I was living in a freaking dope house, sleeping in the closet, but also watching my friend sleep to make sure nothing happened to her. Well, really, I wasn't sleeping. I was just awake, watching her. But at one point, I was just like, I can't. I don't want this. I don't want this forever. What do I want? You gotta start looking for other things. Yeah. I know you said something about it wasn't just overnight, but for me, legitimately, it was, you know what did it for me? I was in this dope house. Well, it's not dope house, but I was in this girl's house. She's a dope smoker, and by dope, I mean meth. She was a meth smoker, and we were in her house, and she had her child home, and she left her child in the house and took everybody to the garage to smoke, and I was like, your 6-year-old is in the house. Your 6-year-old. So I went in the house. I didn't even smoke with him. I went in the house to check on the baby, and I sat with the baby, and I wanted to fight her, but I couldn't because the baby was there, so I stole her laptop. I'm sorry. It's the one time I stole her. But I also needed her laptop more than she did. Doesn't matter. The point is, I just didn't appreciate the way she was treating her baby, and I didn't want to be that person.
Now, prior to you making that ultimate decision for yourself, had people tried to get you to quit any of these drugs? Did you try or attempt rehab or forced to go to rehab?
I was a 15-year-old on the street. People probably tried all kinds of things, but I was on the street for several reasons. So one of them being my best friend, her mother owned the dope house I lived at. I'm not going anywhere until she's okay. Well, at least I thought that, and things changed. This is uncomfortable. Shit. I need a drink, goddamn.
I mean, are you talking about the seat you're on, or are you talking about the discussion?
Both. The seat doesn't have a back, so I can't lean. But the discussion is like, oh, you did your research.
Well, I would like to go a little further with the discussion,
Let's
but
go.
okay.
It's not that uncomfortable.
All right.
I know you said BYOB, but I was trying to be cute. Do you have any B?
I don't.
I'll be fine.
All right. Now, I just want to be just a little bit more detailed with how you quit. When it came to cocaine, was that the flip of a light switch or progression over time?
Hell no. It wasn't a flip. I started snorting cocaine at 15 in Miami. And you want to talk about my face is numb, baby. Woo, the people I was messing with. Oh my God, let me not. Because I don't want to glorify it, but damn, we have fun. Pee parties. Anyway, it's so weird because I really used to love the fun and the party favors. And now I'm just like when people still bring it around. I live in Hollywood. Well, I live downtown LA, but you know, I'm still in the Hollywood circuit. When people bring it around, I'll be like, not in my house. Motherhood, I think, also helped because I can't look my child in his eyes and be high.
When it came to shrooms, flip of a light switch?
I still do shrooms. I don't consider that a drug. I have ounces of shrooms in the freezer. I'm sorry, I'm gonna keep it all the way funky. I love that shit. I don't consider that a drug because, again, I use it for spiritual practices. I do not abuse it. Same with weed. I don't consider those drugs. Anything of nature, not a drug to me. I use it for meditation and when I need to regroup and or ground. And again, I don't abuse it. I don't use it when I'm in a bad mood to get right. I mean, microdosing for, that's not a drug to me.
And when it came to meth, final clarification, did you quit meth with shrooms? Was that what you used to get off of it? Or was it just a progression over time?
Okay, so meth specifically, I got tired. Waking up used to hurt. Like when you finally went to sleep, waking up hurt. Also, I used to stay up for like, I used to stay up for like 27 fucking days. That was the most, 27 days, but I think the average was like 14. Imagine being awake, no sleep for 14 days. You go literally, first of all, after 72 hours, you're clinically insane. I would be walking and you just start seeing shit that's not real, and you don't know what's real anymore and what's fake. And then the fucked up part is you're messing around in the underworld, so like, and these aren't savory people. It gets, I just didn't want it. I just didn't want it anymore. And I was a little girl with a face like a doll.
Now, if you're comfortable with continuing on this conversation, I do want to ask you this about each. When it came to meth, what was the scariest moment when you were in use of that?
I'm sorry.
Take your time.
I'm only laughing because, like, I don't even like to live my life like that anymore. I just laugh at shit now. So trying to think about what was even the scariest is like, it was all fucking scary. I smoked meth because I was scared. Shit was happening that was so fucked up. I was like, I can't go to sleep. I should stay awake. You know what? If I'm gonna keep it funky, I think the scariest moment was the fact that at one point, I went to my mother's house and I rang the doorbell and she didn't answer the door. So I hopped the fence and I knocked on the glass pane, you know, the back window or whatever, the sliding glass window, and I could see this nigga. I could see her watching the TV, and I was banging on the glass and I was like, I don't want to be outside anymore. I don't want to be outside. I don't want to be outside. And she turned the fucking TV up. That's... So, to answer your question, I think the scariest part is that if you don't know, you don't know.
When it came to cocaine, what was your scariest moment when you were using it?
I ain't never had a scary moment on cocaine. Cocaine was fucking child's play after meth. Shit, I'm sorry. I don't mean to say that. I'm not saying you should do cocaine. I'm saying... I wasn't bothered by cocaine. Cocaine wasn't shit. I smoked crack before I ever smoked coke. And that scared me, because I was like, ma'am, are you on the ground looking for the rock we just smoked? So, I don't smoke crack.
Now, when it came to...
It's so funny because you asked me what I didn't want to talk about. And I didn't think about the drug aspect, and I didn't think that it was going to be like a super long tale about drugs. But since it's going to be that, may I commandeer this?
Sure.
For all of my beautiful young brothers and sisters, all you young up-and-coming rappers and stars and beautiful people, let me say this. Them Xannies, that lean, I did all that shit, baby. Everything in between. Loved it. But what I wish, if ever I could have anything, I want that time back. I want all that time back. And I am some weird fucked up anomaly. What I mean is I'm some kind of weird blessing where I didn't die and I should have. I should have been dead a lot and I didn't die. I don't know why, and sometimes I feel like I don't deserve it and I act a little fucking ridiculous because I feel like I don't deserve to still be here. I should have been, bro. I should have been dead. I need y'all to find better coping mechanisms. I found yoga. I found breathing techniques. I swear to God, EFT, like seriously, you gotta look for other ways. Drugs ain't it, especially them pharmaceuticals, bro. I was talking to a pharmacist today and a nurse, and both of them agreed with me. The drugs that they make, those are stronger than street drugs. And then street drugs is dirty, and you never know. You could get a bad batch. The boy I was in love with made me smoke some well, he didn't make me. He offered me some dope, and I smoked it, and passed the fuck out immediately, and he fucking robbed me. Of all the worldly possessions I had in that moment, which is a lot, like, in that, come on, man, y'all gotta do better. Stop with the lean. How many people done died? How many people need to die? You need to die? Do you need to die before you understand that shit is ridiculous? Like, drink water. You know why I look this way? After doing, I will give you my rundown on drugs. I done heroin, meth, cocaine, obviously ecstasy, Molly. That's not, it's like not a badge of honor. Percocets, fucking Adderall. I mean, I did a lot of prescription situations. I don't remember this down. I never did that weird shit that was making people eat faces, but shit, one wrong move with the meth and that's you. And this is what I'm saying, the street drugs aren't, it's not, I mean, you know how many friends I have whose daddies have wife beater burns because they done fucked around and blew themselves up? You know how many friends I have whose daddies done blew themselves up? I mean, I don't mean to laugh. I laugh in uncomfortable situations, but seriously, I know people whose family members have died because they blew their fucking trailer up trying to be goddamn. Stop doing drugs. Do counseling. Do therapy. Do me. Call me, nigga. I'll talk you through it. I'm sorry. It's your interview.
No, I want you to be as open and feel whatever you want to say to people watching as you please.
I just want my people, I swear to God, I want my little brothers and sisters to like wake the fuck up, stand up. We don't have to. I know you're hurt. I know. That's why I did drugs. I was hurt. I had issues. My mommy didn't really like me. She was jealous of me. She admitted this. She treated me like shit. Okay. Well, I ran to drugs. I ran to the dope house. My best friend's mama sold me for dope. I ain't fucking, but stop. You're not alone. Like, we're out here. You just gotta find it. So, don't settle for the first bullshit. Come on, babe. And also, for the record, my father was in the music industry, yes. That has nothing to do with my drug thing. In fact, by the time my father and I found each other again, because there was a whole nother situation going on, by the time we got back together, he was like, celebrities would be like, oh, she should come out with us. And he'd be like, no. I said, Daddy, we doing the same drugs, it's cool. Like at 15. So it's not the industry thing, it's life. Life is hard in general. Life is fucking hard. It's hard. You're dealt a hand of cards and you gotta play that shit to the best of your ability. And we're not always given the skills to play. But as you progress and as you grow, if you start paying attention, you can play better. So pay attention, please. And for the record, if there's any girl or man, boy, woman, anybody out there like in actual need of help or some little assistance and whatnot, I have like a circle. I call it a sister circle. My brothers are welcome too. Just come holler at me for some auntie advice, because I feel like all y'all is babies right now. But come holler at me. My Instagram is my name, at Briana Latrise. Is that my phone? I turned it off. I'm so sorry.
No, we'll handle that.
I'm so sorry. I really thought I put them all on silent. Anyway, if there's anybody in need, guidance, assistance, whatever. I mean, I ain't saying I'm gonna hold your hand through life. I can't talk to you on the phone all the time. I'm busy too. But I have a circle of people just like you and a book club. If you need phonics, like listen. And we don't judge in the circle. When you in the circle, you in the circle. We ain't judging you. We ain't judging you in the circle. When you're outside the circle talking shit, bitch, who is you? But in the circle, we're not judging. Come holler at me, please. I'll send you in the right direction. Like, come on.
And for you, when it came to different coping mechanisms, rehab. You never went through rehab.
Rehab. I've been to some centers. Well, one. It wasn't of my own volition. It's not gonna help if you don't want to go. I was court ordered to go to AA. NA. And you know what I did? I showed up high as fuck on meth. Because I got high in the parking lot right outside with my homegirl who waited outside for me. And as soon as I went in with my pupils smacked, like high as shit, big as shit, I was like, these stories are sad. What are you guys doing? And they actually signed my shit to make me leave. In hindsight, I was like 17 at that time, or 18. In hindsight, I would never disrespect a situation like that because I didn't understand that those people who were there of their own volition were really trying to get help, and it was a real support system. And it's extremely disrespectful to show up that way. But I was court ordered to go. I didn't want to be there. And I know now why that woman signed my paper, like, just go. Because I was gonna fuck around and have the whole room high. or relapse. And for those who are struggling with actual addiction, that's fucked up. It's that shit isn't a joke. I don't feel I was a drug addict personally because I wasn't addicted to drugs. I just didn't want to hurt. So I used anything and everything. Like, there was no one drug I was addicted to. I say meth just because that one probably was like the most prominent in those times, but it was all of them. I didn't care. You put it in my face, it's gonna give me height. Why are you sighing?
Oh,
Breathed real heavy just now. Are you okay?
I'm sighing because this is a deep conversation.
It is.
And I'm also looking at my notes, seeing where I want to navigate with this next.
Got it.
And also being respectful to, not dragging this further than it needs to go with, what you're open and being honest with and giving the viewers an insight on. And so I'm just kind of sighing at that, the culmination of all of that. But is there anything else you'd like to say to people watching in regards to this subject matter, other than what you've already said?
If you're struggling in any way, I have a circle of support. And support is necessary around us. I talk a lot of shit on Instagram, but my heart's of gold.
And speaking of Instagram, for those watching, again, first time getting to know you, what is your username?
Briana Latrise.
Screen name.
BRIANA LATRISE. No C's in my name.
And for time reference, it's January 2022 now.
It's cold as shit.
And I do want to piggyback off of some other things you mentioned in this conversation just a little further. You mentioned spiritual and things of that nature. Is that what you consider yourself at this point? Do you follow religion at all?
No. I used to, but I do not. As a black woman, no.
Do you want to shed any light on that?
Sure. Okay. I had to look at my manager to make sure I wasn't going to get beat up after this. He doesn't abuse me, I'm lying. But I studied, I chose to be saved as a Christian at 9, and that's cool. And when I ended up on drugs and I would come to the church, I got judged a bit. I'm not saying that you should not adhere to religion. I'm saying it did not work for me. And then a Christian gave me chlamydia, but thank God you could heal that easily. The point is, I was a child. I am not big on religion. I am more about figuring out my own personal relationship with the higher power, and my ancestry and my ancestors who are constantly around me protecting me. There's no reason I should be alive, honestly. So I have to pay homage to that, and I have to respect it, and I try to be diligent in not doing stupid shit these days.
What age were you when you diverted?
From religion?
Yes. When there was a change of mindset there for you?
Weirdly, I think it was early, like in my early teens. Maybe, shit, you end up on the freaking street. It'll make you question life. I was on the street early, so about 12, 13, I was questioning everything. By 17, I was like, oh, all right, heard you. I think it was 17, I guess, when I just decided I wasn't going to, I don't know what y'all talking about. And then as I grow, and as I continued to study, I became secure in that.
And one more topic that I wanted to ask you that you mentioned here in this conversation. I'm pausing here to go to another set of notes.
I'm gonna tie my shoe while you do that.
Okay.
This is driving me crazy.
And I'm ready whenever you're done with that. You mentioned the B word here in conversation.
Bitch?
Yes. Now, when males say that word,
To who?
in use of females, what is your opinion on that? Do you have a zero tolerance policy on that? Is there some leeway with that?
I move off energy. I honestly feel like I shouldn't even use that word that much. Honestly, I'm trying to grow out of using all kinds of derogatory terms because, to be fair, a bitch is a female dog, and I ain't never been a dog in my life, and nor have the people I choose to associate with. But it's weird how culture works and language and whatnot. As far as men using that word, you say that shit with aggression, we fighting. Well, we're not fighting. I'm gonna move out of the way, and somebody somewhere is gonna take care of me. I'm not a fan, I guess, because if you're saying it with aggression, like it's a problem, and I don't. First of all, why are you even? If it's a problem, if you got an issue with a woman, just walk away. As a woman, if you have an issue with a man, just walk away. That it.
And what about that phrase when it's not used in aggression? What if it's just...
Oh, bitch. Bitch. I mean, I hate this. I'm trying to grow up. I am fully aware that it can be used as a term of endearment, and that's amongst Black culture, and it's weird that it's become that way, but that's what it is. Like, my hairstylist, one of my girls, she called me earlier and was like, bitch, so you in Atlanta and you didn't tell me? And I was like, oh, bitch, I forgot. Like, the words have power, but it's the power that you give them. And it's, again, energy. If she'd been like, bitch, I'd been like, hold up, ho, who the fuck is you talking to? Excuse my French.